There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the season of performance events at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
With 0% financing.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
There we go. We are live. It is the Squared Circle Digest WWE Raw on Netflix recap, and it was a very good Raw tonight. A little long, but it was good. It was a good 2.5 hours. A great build to what looks like is going to be a very entertaining Royal Rumble. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., the place to be, right here on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, as we discuss AEW and WWE on the Squared Circle Digest. Myself and Frankie Fresco will take you through the world of pro wrestling. Let's take a look at what we had tonight on Raw. Got started, of course, they were in Atlanta, Georgia, the home of the great Cody Rhodes. And Seth Rollins got it started, doing the normal Royal Rumble hype, right? Like, he's going to throw everyone over the top. And then who should he challenge? And, of course, Gunther's music hits, and Gunther comes out, talks about how he just went through Jey Uso. And then the one thing I didn't want to see, Logan Paul. Logan Paul's music hits, and out he comes, and Logan Paul has declared for the Royal Rumble. And he says the Netflix era needs a new face. And he also said he doesn't have to throw 30, get 29 other guys over the top rope. He just needs to throw one. Just one to win the Royal Rumble. And truer words have never been spoken. You know, so it's going to be very interesting now. Again, another top name added to a already jam-packed, star-studded lineup that is right now the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble. I mean, it is very interesting. And if you did watch Raw on Netflix, the ending, which we'll discuss here in a little bit, got me wondering, are they trying to hint toward a possible WrestleMania main event? No Doubt says, I will say they have really opened up the possibilities going forward this year. But that stare down with Cody and Punk did seem to feel most likely. Yeah, no, they haven't. And I'm going to talk about that when we get to the end, because it was the last segment as Raw on Netflix went off the air. CM Punk did do a promo in the back. Sami Zayn interrupted, tell Punk he heard what he said last week, where Sami Zayn's not on his level, and he said basically, I'm going to show you that I'm on your level. And then he starts to walk away. He runs into Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross tells him, stop using your heart and start using your head to get ahead in the, the wrestling business. And then all of a sudden, boop, Cody Rhodes out of nowhere pops up, scares the crap out of Sami Zayn, and we go to the next match, which was a good tag team match for the tag team titles. And it was the War Raiders in their first defense against the team of JD McDonough and Dom Mysterio, Judgment Day, which I feel like they put themselves in a little bit of a corner here, because you can't have the War Raiders win the titles and then lose them right away. But I honestly felt that this was the time, with the way the Judgment Day angle's kind of going, this would have been the time to give Dom that rub as kind of the leader, because remember, he's the one that went and got the title match for him and JD. And I believe that this would have been a time, but again, your first title defense of the War Raiders, you don't make, I don't know, it's hard. You don't make them do the job and be transitional champions. JD McDonough took a nasty spill outside. He did the over the top rope, the springboard off the rope, and when he landed, his back jetted back, hit his head and neck area on the top of the announcer table, went down. Michael Cole was worried that he might have been knocked out. Tough little bastard got up, kept going, and then during the match, he took some more vicious hits in the head area as well, and he finished the match. They end up having Dom get pinned, which, again, maybe this is the end of the Judgment Day. I thought this was a way, though, to kind of repackage the Judgment Day, with Dom being the leader since Finn's MIA right now. But they didn't go that way. But I do feel like Judgment Day needed that win. But I do understand, because WWE painted themselves in a little bit of a corner, it being the War Raiders' first title defense. So the War Raiders go up. They do a great promo in the back. Kofi Kingston in the back with Kelly. I can't think of her first. Kathy Kelly, I think it is. And they're like, Atlanta's favorite son has come home. And she goes, Braun Breaker? And they're like, no. And then they look at her again, and she's like, A-Town Down Under's Austin Theory? And they're like, no. And then she goes, no, I got it this time. Cody Rhodes. And they're just like, it was a good little fun back and forth with everything that's going on with the way that they're doing the whole New Day gimmick, and the New Day sucks. And then, Xavier Woods says his family's going to be in the front row. He's got seats saved for him, and, the family's going to be there for him. So fast forward to the match. That is the next match. That is the kind of the way this rolls out on Netflix. Rey Mysterio, the family, not there for most of the match. At the end of the match, they come out there. They got jackets on. They open them up. And, of course, they're wearing the New Day Sucks shirt. And Xavier gets all upset about it, loses the momentum of the match, catches a 619, and then gets pinned by Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio ends up going out with the family, putting the shirt on, and celebrating. And then, of course, that is the picture now up at WWE Shop. You can get your New Day Sucks shirt right now at WWE Shop. So make sure you check that out. That merch is out. And then the interesting thing, too, also was said during that thing, LWO, Zelina Vega. is leaving the LWO and is going to SmackDown. Now you ask, oh, that means nothing. But there's somebody else who has just left another organization and is returning, or at least all signs point to him returning to WWE. So I'm wondering if this is setting up for Malachi Black or Aleister Black to return to SmackDown. As you know, they are married, Zelina Vega and Aleister Black, and usually they don't separate the couples on the brands. So Zelina Vega goes to SmackDown now, so I believe that has opened up to where Aleister Black will return, or Malachi Black, however they repackage him and bring him back in. But it looks like he's going to be returning to SmackDown. So we'll see if that actually plays out, but that's usually how they do the couples. Sami confronts Seth in the back, says the kick was a mistake. And then Seth says, I know it was a mistake, but you have to understand how it looks with you teaming up with Roman and everything else going on. He says, are we good? And Seth says, we are good. And those that don't know or didn't watch it, last week at the end, Drew McIntyre's beating up on Seth in the corner. Sami comes in for the haluva kick. Drew gets out of the way. Haluva kick, bam! Right to Seth Rollins. And that's kind of how Raw ended last week. Then they did a whole Jey Uso thing, and it looks like, and again, it was just an intro with Quavo, and it didn't look like he lost any steam, I'll tell you that much. Everybody was yeeting. There's hands flying everywhere. I do believe, though, that WWE is getting a little carried away with the drone shot, especially with Jey. They just love flying the drone around and zooming in and coming out and flying around, and it just, after a while, it gets a little bit too much. I do like it when he first comes out and they're doing a circle and then they find them in the stands and it's right there. I like that, but when it keeps going in and out and then back away and then just, it starts reminding me back to the Kevin Dunn cut Raws where every punch is cut, let's keep it going with what you got going right now. The production has been on point. We don't got to overdo it. We don't have to overdo it there. Then Jey says, he knows he can beat Gunther, and he knows what he's got to do. And, of course, what does he do? He's now entered into the Royal Rumble. That's right. Jey Uso now also added to the Royal Rumble. Lyra Valkyrie next, the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. She's in the back talking, and she says she's going to enter the Rumble. Then she's interrupted by Chad Gable, who says Ivy Nile is going to win that Intercontinental title for me, for the group. Lyra Valkyria says, I'll see you Saturday. Ivy Nile is in the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble. They pan out, and you've got Otis and Akira Tozawa dancing, and Maxine Dupree is producing. They're doing little TikToks. Chad Gable goes over and just keeps berating them as he always does. And then Ivy Nile kind of gets in Maxine Dupree's face. My thinking is this. During the Royal Rumble, Maxine Dupree, I believe, is going to be eliminating Ivy Nile or something along those lines. Because you usually get those little eggs around this time of year. Just little things that happen and things that keep you, just entertained little things. Because, again, you have 30 men coming in and 30 women, and you have to have the little battles in between to make sure it entertains everybody. They did Rhea and Bayley, or actually, I'm sorry, Bianca and Naomi took on Liv and Raquel. A good tag team match. Very, very, again, the in-ring stuff is what WWE does well. And then when you get, Bianca and Liv, Raquel, they did their basic, match that they always do, right? They go to hit the KOD. Dom comes out. But this is where it got sloppy for me. Bianca, Naomi tags in, goes to get the pin. She does the split leg moonsault. 1, 2. Raquel drags her out. Then kind of picks her up and does like a power bomb on the apron. But after all the moves that they had done that whole match, that move did not look like enough to keep Naomi down, but it did. And Liv Morgan and Raquel pick up the win over the tag team champions, non-title match. So now, future, they will probably get a title match. And a lot of the, again, I don't know where Jade Cargill stands in all of this still. I don't know, maybe she comes back at the Rumble. We'll see. And then we'll see where all this lays out and where it plays out with her, Bianca, Naomi, and how they kind of, I guess, figure out who put Jade out. And then we'll figure out where to go from there. Rhea and Bayley had some interaction in the back. Rhea's talking about her defense against Nia. Bayley walks up and says, ding dong, because if anybody knows, hello, ding dong was her show that she does. And then after that interaction, she turns around. There's Io Sky. And I was very interested to see how this was going to play out. Io and Bayley kind of looked at each other for a second or two. And then Io just said, I'll see you Saturday. And walked away. So we'll see where that goes. They did a Penta promo. He's now in the Royal Rumble. And then I don't know if this was on Netflix and I missed it or if it was done during a commercial break. But at one point, Braun Breaker is being interviewed and Penta walks up and they just kind of stare there. He goes, where are my dogs at? And he went to do his bark. And Penta walks up, stares at the Intercontinental title, does his, Sierra Mierda, and then that's kind of where they left it at in that instance. Both are in the Royal Rumble. Do we see Penta maybe eliminate him, and now they start setting up for an Intercontinental title match for Penta? Penta Braun? I mean, I don't know how much, again, I know the Penta, craze right now. I believe he has, he's selling second to only Roman, I believe, in merchandise sales, so Pentamania has caught fire, so we'll see where that keeps going. Paul Heyman comes out next, and of course they do the WWE 2K25 cover reveal, and of course it is Roman Reigns on the cover, and Paul Heyman does make the cover. He's on the bottom, under the ring, kind of acknowledging the Tribal Chief as he's there on the cover. And then there are going to be, I believe, 2 other versions of the cover. One's going to be a Bloodline edition, which I retweeted at my X account, Stanley_Media11. And then there's another one that's going to have The Undertaker. Now, also, there's going to be extensions. I know the Wyatt 6 is going to be an addition that gets added to the game as well. So they did introduce the WK225, sorry. And then that was over, and Paul Heyman said, that Roman Reigns is basically going to win the Royal Rumble and he's going to get his championship back. Drew McIntyre's music hits. He comes out and he's talking to Paul Heyman. He said, Paul Heyman, before you leave, make sure you tell your boy, I'm going to beat him up. I'm going to leave him laying, and then I'm going to throw him over the top rope. And Paul Heyman said, I will let my Tribal Chief know. And he goes to leave, and Drew McIntyre stopped him, and he said, I wasn't talking about Roman. I was talking about CM Punk. Again, just reminding everybody the whole thing. They do this very well to where it is them just reminding, don't forget about CM Punk, Paul Heyman, the little deal that they have. They showed a little bit of the thing here. during Netflix, what is the favor? You know, they keep saying, you know, the favor thinks it has to deal with somebody that's close to him and things like that. So they keep going back to this, not letting you forget. And that's the one thing that I do like about, you know, a lot about what WWE does and how they do their program. And sometimes, yes, it does get tiring on certain things, but I feel like at this time of year in the Royal Rumble, it's always good to keep throwing out those little nuggets just to keep you thinking about everything, right? How does it affect what happens at the Royal Rumble? If it comes down to CM Punk and Roman Reigns, CM Punk looks at Paul Heyman and says, hey, I'm calling my favor. How does Paul Heyman relay that to Roman Reigns? Does he cost Roman Reigns the match? There's a lot of little things that are going to play out at the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis this Saturday, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. start, by the way. Don't forget, an hour earlier. So that will be very interesting to see how, again, this all plays out. Then after Drew is done talking to Paul Heyman, Sami Zayn's music hits. They have a great match, a very hard-hitting match. Sami Zayn, I believe, broke his nose. There's blood going everywhere. Drew took a huge bump on Claymore and landed right on the table. They did a lot of their normal stuff. Again, Sami has never beaten Drew, right? But he's always been beat clean. In this match, to keep Sami and building up Sami's getting the comeback. Bam, he rolls him up. He hooks the ropes. He cheats Sami this time to keep Sami down. And I thought it was very interesting that they kept Sami so strong in this. Then Drew starts beating up on Sami. Cody comes out to make the save. He kind of, you know, beats down on Drew a little bit. Then KO comes out and starts attacking. Or Cody hits the Cody cutter on Drew. Then KO comes out. They start fighting. Then Drew backs Cody into a corner. And oops, Sami did it again. A haluva kick. This time not Seth Rollins. This time it hits Cody. And then I thought WWE did a great job when they pan out and it's Sami looking down at Cody like, damn, I did it again. Who walks over to him but his best buddy, KO. And all he does is he just taps him on his back like, great job. And remember, last week, KO cuts the promo, says, if you help me win the ladder match, me and you could main event WrestleMania together. Another little part of the story. Because now you start saying, okay, we know, if anybody knows Sami Zayn, you know it's a mistake. But when you look at it in that aspect, you start wondering, right? You start wondering. Finn's post, Sami says, storytelling is key in the road to WrestleMania. It's key really in everything that WWE does, but especially in this time because it starts kind of bringing everything together. And then, you know, because again, WrestleMania is their Super Bowl. This is what all year has been leading to, getting to this point. And now Royal Rumble starts it. You'll start getting a couple little teasers here and there. And I believe we got one tonight because as Raw, you know, I thought it was kind of over. It went to a break for me. And again, I don't see the international feed, so I don't know what you saw. But it went to like a long break. It was like 3 minutes. And then when they come back, it's Cody in the corner, and he's looking down, looking up, and he's like, my hometown of Atlanta, and here I am with the best view, looking up at the titles. And, you know, he kind of goes into the whole thing about the hometown, and he's kind of talking and everything. And then CM Punk's music hits. And CM Punk comes out, and he says, I'm a true friend, not just because I told your dad that I would take care of you, and this and that. And then they kind of go back and forth. And then, you know, CM Punk says, you know, you've been a champion It weighs on you. You can see it weighing on you. You don't get to spend the time with your daughter. You'll be having an early call tomorrow. No time with the wife. This is the grind of being a champion. And he said, but somebody is going to win the Royal Rumble and take the title off of you at WrestleMania. And Cody started laughing, and he said, hey, that's the good news. CM Punk says, that's the good news. And then, so Cody laughs a little bit, and he says, so tell me, what's the bad news? And CM Punk looked at him, and he said, that somebody's going to be me. He said, I'm not going to stab you in the back. I'm going to stab you in the front. And then they went on, but I feel like this was the egg for them to see the reaction. Face to face, you had CM Punk and you had Cody Rhodes. How did the fans react to see if this is the route that they may take for WrestleMania? Did they get the reaction that they wanted? I don't know. I don't know what the reaction was going to be. I don't know what reaction they wanted to see. I thought at the beginning the reaction was good, but it kind of felt like it lost something in the middle with the fans. And maybe it's just the way it came across in the broadcast. Maybe live it was a lot louder than what it felt. It just felt like almost to where the crowd didn't know which way to go. In a way. And again, maybe that's what they wanted to see. But it really felt to me that this was a point to where, and you're right, silence can be powerful. And that's, again, I don't know what their whole thing, but that part there was set up to get that moment to say, okay, this is what we can give you. Cody versus CM Punk as a WrestleMania main event. And then see how the crowd reacts. See how it goes off of on social media as well. Because nowadays it's not just crowd reaction in there anymore. It's also the social media. I mean, hell, look, they're gonna have what? Kai Cenat, Show Speed or Speed Show or whatever. They're gonna be doing streams in the back at the Royal Rumble. That stuff doesn't happen. This is what the WWE is doing now to get out to more and again, more casual fans that they might not have. And you see it on Netflix tonight. I mean, every Atlanta rapper I think was in the house. I mean, I don't know who wasn't there, as that goes, and maybe others, I don't know who all the 8 Atlanta rappers are, but it felt like everybody was there. And maybe more. Maybe some of them are not Atlanta rappers and they're from somewhere else, but it felt like there was everything there. And also remember this, Royal Rumble is Saturday. Roman Reigns hasn't been seen since the debut on Netflix. CM Punk has been telling the story. Sami Zayn's been a key factor in the story. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. On SmackDown, they're really not even doing a lot of the men's side of the Royal Rumble. It's mostly been on Raw. You have a couple things here and there, but I mean, like, I got to believe Jacob Fatu is going to end up being in it somehow. Roman can come for his belt at SummerSlam. They have lots of time to fill. They do. And again, I don't think the bloodline angle is over. I think Jacob Fatu might be the one to eliminate Roman, and then now you set up for Roman and Jacob. But then again, do you do it that early? Because if you do it there, then you might end up setting up for, again, the WrestleMania. I don't know what the plans for WrestleMania are, but there is, I believe, one more pay-per-view before WrestleMania. So now you wonder, which way do they go? Because they can go we'll talk more about it tomorrow on the Squared Circle Digest, because we'll give you our picks, Royal Rumble picks for everything that we know right now. And again, there's going to be special, appearances and things like that. But for everything that we know right now, we will go over the Royal Rumble and give you our picks, myself and Frankie Fresco. Don't forget, tomorrow we will be, not tomorrow. I'm sorry. We got at the Super Bowl Tuesday, next week. So this week we're normal time, 7 p.m. But so much time spent on the favorite has to be Punk, and I'm not a Punk guy. I mean, it really feels that way, especially tonight with the way it was. You had the promo with Punk. You kind of had, there's so much. You're right, no doubt. It just, and again, sometimes it feels like maybe they're trying to lead us off of whatever other path they want to go. Because again, I think a better story is CM Punk loses the Royal Rumble. Then how does that favor play in? If just say Roman wins the Royal Rumble, CM Punk loses the Royal Rumble, does CM Punk turn heelish to get his, again, this is where a lot of things can happen in this time frame to where you can go a number of ways. Seth Rollins is not above turning heel. We know this. I mean, I'm in a way hoping Logan Paul wins so that Gunther can chop the crap out of him and just beat him up. I'm hoping, they're again, I don't think Logan Paul wins. I don't. I hope not. You have so much other ways you can go with this. If he wins, I may, oh boy, I can't even say what I would do if he wins that match. With as top heavy as that is, if he ends up winning that match, it'll be very interesting to see. But don't forget, tomorrow, 7 p.m., Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel. Please go, if you're watching us on Facebook page, please make sure to join the Stanley Media House Network Facebook page. Join the community there. Please go to the YouTube channel, Stanley Media House Network. Hit the subscribe, hit the notification. We're on Twitch, on X. I'm at Stanley_Media11. Talk a lot wrestling. We also are going to be, NASCAR is picking up this Sunday, actually. We have the Cookout Clash this Sunday. So we'll be getting into NASCAR as well as some sports takes. Good, not so good. It is what it is, just like my wrestling takes. Some people like them. Some people don't. But I appreciate each and every one of you that spent your Monday night after Raw right here on the Stanley Media House Network. Again, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Sorry about that. Had a cough. Trying to hold off on this. In the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun. Shine